The girl took off her headband and dipped her hair into the water. What happened next was truly magical. Her hair instantly turned completely silver. What she didn't expect was that her transformation was witnessed by the emperor. When Toshiyuki realized this, she was terrified and immediately fled. The reason Toshiyuki was so panicked was that silver hair was a symbol of rebellion in this world. The emperor's father had ordered the execution of all silver-haired people. When Toshiyuki was a child, her mother had dyed her hair black. Toshiyuki didn't know why, but her mother told her that black hair would bring them good luck, and that everyone disliked silver hair. Therefore, she had to keep her hair black, and her mother insisted that Toshiyuki always remember this. As soon as her mother finished speaking, soldiers rushed in. Toshiyuki's mother grabbed her and fled. She ran frantically, and when they reached a corner, she set Toshiyuki down. She told her to stay still and not make a sound, no matter what she heard. Toshiyuki didn't understand why, but she promised to obey. Toshiyuki's mother decided to sacrifice her own life to protect Toshiyuki's safety. The next day, Toshiyuki went out to search for her mother. As she walked through the street, she suddenly saw her mother. When Toshiyuki approached her, she was horrified to find that her mother had only a head left. She had been killed by the soldiers. Toshiyuki felt utterly hopeless. Now, the emperor, Jun, had seen her silver hair. Toshiyuki feared she would soon be executed. When Jun arrived at Toshiyuki's residence, he simply returned her belongings and reminded her to dry her body, or she might catch a cold. Jun reassured her that he hadn't seen anything and left. The next day, Toshiyuki appointed Kyukyu to be her maid, and they began investigating the case of the missing earrings. They discovered that a woman named Ojo had hanged herself. Ojo had a maid named Kokio, who was now exiled to the imperial palace. When Toshiyuki tried to find Kokio, she was stopped by the empress's guards. In this moment of crisis, Toshiyuki used magic to conjure a peony flower and blew on it, causing a powerful storm to appear. However, Toshiyuki didn't anticipate that more enemies were behind them. Just as Kyukyu was about to be killed, a man suddenly appeared and blocked the attack. Before Yaisei could speak, another enemy rushed forward with a knife. Fortunately, Anhai arrived just in time to save them. Anhai had been sent by the emperor to protect Toshiyuki. Though Kyukyu was frightened, she decided to stay by Toshiyuki's side, as Toshiyuki had just saved her life. They arrived at Kokio's residence, but the gatekeeper told them it was useless to ask about Kokio. It turned out Kokio had been silenced and couldn't speak because her tongue had been cut out. However, when Toshiyuki showed Kokio the earrings, Kokio became unusually agitated. Toshiyuki guessed that Kokio wanted to write something down. She took Kokio back to her palace. The emperor, upon hearing this, arrived that night. Kokio explained that she had pretended not to know how to read or write because she feared being killed, and the one responsible was the empress. The empress had killed Ojo because Ojo was pregnant. Ojo's father was an official, but he wasn't aligned with the empress. The empress had bribed Ojo's personal maid to hide poison in Ojo's cabinet, and Kokio had discovered it, but she had to pretend she hadn't seen it, or her family would have been killed too. Ojo didn't die by hanging, she had been murdered. Eventually, even Ojo's maid was killed. Since Kokio was just a regular maid, her death would attract too much attention, so they cut out her tongue to silence her. Now, even if Kokio wanted to speak, she couldn't. Toshiyuki, after learning that Kokio, realized that Ojo must have been the owner of the earrings. Kokio confirmed that Ojo had cherished these earrings and had heard that the other earring was in Ojo's fiance's possession. However, one day, Ojo had given the remaining earring to someone else. At this moment, the emperor asked Kokio a question: who killed Ojo? Kokio answered that it was someone who served the empress. He then asked Kokio